Once again, session of Hoodies the podcast. Test 1, 2. This is Hoodies. Let's do it, man. Live from the Skill Suite. Yo, coming at you, man. Yeah. Are we back? 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 Word. Peace, I'm Nagar Rashidi, and I want to welcome you back to a new season of Hoodies the podcast. Word. So listen, man, like I said, this is a new season. So consider this season 1, episode 1, right? I get it. I know I've done at least 200 and something before. That was different. That was a bunch of episodes, dope episodes, don't get me wrong, but I'm moving in seasons now. This is season 1, episode 1. Same, you know what I mean? Same energy in the sense that this is still a safe space for thinkers. This is still a safe space for students of life. This is still a safe space for boundary setters. But in addition to that, this is, of course, this is a safe space for black folk, period. Come on, act like you know. I don't even need to say that, do I? All right. But in addition to that, this is also a safe space for folk who are reinventing themselves, for folk who feel as though they are not where they think they should be right now, and who's in their latter years, like myself. You know what I'm saying? 40 and better. So we don't always have it figured out just because we're a certain age, and life's. So sometimes reinvention is warranted, unless you want to stay stagnant. But yeah, once again, welcome to the new season of Hoodies. I ain't gonna talk your ear off. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and get into it. All right. So, you say you did your best. We all say that, right? But did we? Did you? I may not have been, the best father in the world, but, I did my best. Baby, I did my best. As a mother or whatever. But did we? Did you? Did you really do your best? I'm just saying, did you? Here's a dope way to gauge that, right? Okay, listen. If you was faced with a decision to make, right? And right off rip, you knew that you knew this decision could possibly, if it goes bad, you could possibly go to prison. You could possibly lose your life. You know what I mean? Both things take you out of the lives of your family. Both things take you out of the lives of your kids, if you got any, grandkids, if you got any, right? Listen, it might not even be that, well, yeah, I was going to say it might not even be that serious, but it's just as serious. What if you knew that decision could also cost you your certification, your license? You know what I'm saying? And say you still make that decision. That's not doing your best. That's not doing your best at all. Sorry. You didn't do your best. And be clear. I'm not talking about extenuating circumstances. Extenuating circumstances being you're in an environment or just a situation where any choice you make is going to cost you something, right? well, sometimes even the good choices could still cost us something. But okay, say you extenuating circumstances is any decision you make, it could turn out bad. You know what I'm saying? You know how some people would say sometimes you got to do a little bad to do some good. You know, but if you're not lucky while you're doing the bad, that could get you caught up. So you never get a chance to turn it around and do some good. I'm not talking about that. Those are extenuating circumstances. Some people gotta make a particular decision because, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like voting. You know, Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever. The government, as far as I'm concerned, I've said 1,000 times, is just two wings on the same bird. One of them's going, one politician's policies is going to kill you like cancer, and the other one's going to kill you like a snake bite. They both going to kill you. You see what I'm saying? That's that picking the lesser of the two evils type of thing. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about extenuating circumstances. Another extenuating circumstance could be if, I want to say, you're standing up and you physically fighting, or you speaking truth to power, you know what I'm saying, in favor of your just basic human rights. Say you're standing up for your basic human rights, yours and your people, whomever your people are, right? And you get warned by either the federal government or, the powers, whatever the powers that be are. And you choose to do that shit anyway because standing up for your basic human rights and civil rights and standing up for children, our babies, the women, or your house, your home, fuck it. It's just worth it. It's just worth it. Throw me under the jail. It's just worth it, man. I'm not talking about that either, but that would also be extenuating circumstances. An extenuating circumstance. I'm not talking about that though. That's different. I'm talking like, yeah, times are rough, and yeah, you could flip birds. You could flip a bird, or whatever they calling it now. You could do that, or you could go get a job. Okay, I get it. Minimum wage and all. Even though minimum wage has gone up, say minimum wage just ain't gonna cut it. She got to make the sacrifice. She get two jobs. Create something. I don't know. It's easier said than done, sure. But you do have a choice, right? And if you made a decision and you knew what the consequences were, they was crazy, some crazy consequences, and you did it anyway, that was not your best. Let me tell you what doing your best is, though. Because keep in mind that a lot of us are going through things for the very first time in our lives. Which means sometimes we're just making the best decision possible. You know what I mean? With what little knowledge we may have. Probably didn't necessarily do our due diligence. Probably something we may have heard. I don't know. Point is, we make a decision. We know this decision is not going to lead us up the river. It's not going to lead us to prison, away from our family, whatnot. It's not going to lead to me ending someone else's life or possibly mine. Some good things could pop off from this. But for whatever reasons, it still doesn't come together. At least not in my favor. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why I'm so cool with giving elders grace. You know what I'm saying? Because for some of them, they may have had a plan, a serious plan. It was going to take, a decent portion of their money, Mr. Charlie and his friend Earl, and we're going to bet on a horse. This scenario probably sounds mad dated, right? We're going to bet on a horse. And they both put their money together. Charlie goes, did I say Charlie? Charlie and Earl? So Charlie goes down to the racetrack, they win. Earl didn't go. They win. Get a shitload of money. A shitload of money, man. And Earl makes off with all the money. Charlie's money too. He gets off with his fucking money. See, Charlie Well, they both made a decision, but Charlie was all in. This was a decision. He knows the horses. He knows what he knows. And that decision just didn't work out for him. So now Earl then got off with the money and off with Charlie's woman. That's a rabbit hole. But I did my best. Yeah, it's gambling, but it was a sure thing. And it panned out. What didn't pan out was Earl's loyalty, Earl's integrity. Sometimes just for unforeseen things. Sometimes life just be lifing. Sometimes life could be unpredictable. Because people are unpredictable. But or any example where it just didn't go out right, at least for you. That, my friend, is doing your best. Because at the time you were in fact doing your best. But and look, be very clear, right? Well, let me be very clear. Just because we make some not so good decisions, just because we didn't in fact do our best, it doesn't necessarily have to define us as people. It doesn't have to define you as a person. It doesn't have to define you as a father. It doesn't have to define you as a mother. You see what I'm saying? However, I'm saying all of this to say that I find it extremely different to grow if I'm constantly telling myself that, hey, my life may not be what it's supposed to be, but I did my best and I know that I'm lying. Where's the logic in that? How do you grow if you can't say, look, I fucked up. I made some not so good decisions. I was not doing my best. If you can look in your mirror and admit that to yourself, I'm of the belief that is when you take off. That's when you'll take off. Because now you've gotten over yourself. How you supposed to change and you can't even acknowledge where you went wrong? You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm not talking about the things, that there were no harsh consequences to. But even then, because listen, even the decisions that we make that we think are sound decisions, again, that failure because things didn't pan out in your favor. So, you can call it a failure or you can call it a lesson learned. It becomes a failure when you didn't learn anything from it. I've put myself in stupid situations before. Well, I realized it was stupid after the fact. But at the moment, I thought I was, I thought I was doing my thing. I thought I was. I thought it was a sound decision. Probably should have dug a little deeper, but I thought that it was a sound decision. I had to learn a lesson from that. In that particular instance, I can say that I did my best. It didn't pan out the way I wanted to. I'm not over there doing this, that, and the third, but I did my best. Maybe I probably could have did better. Some years ago, when I was young dude, at least younger, stationed in Pearl Harbor. You know what I'm saying? I'm a single father. And one night, I believe it was a Saturday night, little shorty came over. It was her and her friend, right? She wasn't taller than me, but she was kind of like maybe right here. She had some height on her, thick in all the right places. Model type figure. I think at one point in time she told me she used to model, whatever. So anyway, her and a couple of her friends came over to my crib. I was a single father. This was a Friday night. I had a babysitter, so my sons weren't there, right? So I'm sitting at the crib. I'm sipping some Erkin Jerk. Y'all know what that is. That's that E&J. The E and Jizzle. Yeah, that ain't sound right. Take that out. Anyway, I'm a little lit. Not too much. I'm a little lit. I don't like to get too lit if I know I'm going to be in the company, of women. So, but I'm nice. So, come through. She had been sipping too. One of her friends was real nice. Other one was on the road. Some of them took a little sip of what I had going on. So they came through looking fly. They were getting ready to head to the club. So of course they was dolled up, smelling good, whatever. Now see, Shorty was gonna be coming. Did I tell y'all her name? I'm gonna say the name. Fuck it. Her name was not my high school girlfriend. This was another. Right? All right. And I probably shouldn't have said that, but I'll just bleep it out anyway. They were gonna head to the club. You know what I'm saying? All three of them, Shorty and her two friends. But Shorty was gonna come back after the club, right? I told you I was a little lit too. So we shoot the shit a little bit. They over there, my crib, and then they get ready to head out to go to the club. I decided for whatever reasons that I'm gonna head out to the club too. Not the club they going to, but I'm about to go hit the club. I'm with the shits too. You know what I'm saying? Getting mine too. You know what I mean? Whatever logic I was on at that time. You know what I'm saying? So I go out. I'm a little lit. And I had a little system, right? I would sip a little something at the crib. And this is totally wrong. I do not condone drinking and driving. But this was a lifestyle that I engaged in, right? I would sip a little something before I got to the club, get to the club, smoke a little doobie, something light that I rolled up, and boom, make my way inside the club. So I drove all the way downtown Honolulu to this club called The Cellar. Either The Cellar or this club called Red Lion. No strict dress code, nothing like that. You can wear, a ball cap in there, your long chain if you got it. You can pretty much keep on everything, your Timbs, your hat, whatever. Anyway, so I go in there, a little lit, puff the doobie, and I had a drink while I was in there. And it was cool. Normally I would go up in there and just kind of post up. Just post up, music's playing, sitting there, doing my little ditty bop, sipping my drink. Speaking of drink, I'm thirsty, man. Hold on. Pierce for 3. So what was I saying? So yeah, it says normally I'll be sitting there chilling, ditty bop, look over, there'd be something looking at me, and then next thing you know, I'll get that. Next thing you know, I'm on the dance floor having a good time. This night was a little different. To be honest with you, I don't think I was really looking for it because I knew I had something coming over later on that night. So I ended up leaving the Cellar. I leave, drive back toward my neck of the woods, but I wasn't necessarily ready to go home just yet. I wasn't ready to pack it in just yet. So I go to this other little spot. It's kind of like a pub or something like that, like a pub, because you could go there, you could sip something, but they had a dance floor there too. I think you could play a little pool, some darts, something like that, but they had a dance floor as well. So I went there. It's called Gussie's. I went to Gussie's. That was on Nimitz Highway, Honolulu. And Gussie's I don't think is there anymore. And if it is there, it goes by a different name. This was many moons ago. So I go in there. I might have had a beer, maybe a Corona, something like that. But I didn't stay long. I figured pretty soon Shorty should be, heading this way. I don't expect her to stay there till the lights come on. Just there enough to have some fun with her friends, come back my way. So I leave Gussie's, right? I had been pacing myself all night in terms of drink. At least I thought I was. I had been pacing myself. So I leave. I hopped in. I had a Ford Explorer at the time. And because my black Maxima had got stolen. Oh, my Maxima was fire. My Maxima, man. I didn't have dubs on them, but I had 18s. It was black, had the chrome rims on it. I had a like a blue dome light. Fam, that I had a system in it. Yo, fam, my Maxima got stolen though. She got stolen right from in front of my crib. And you want, real quick, sidebar. I ain't never said this, but you know what I think happened? Okay, check it. This is military housing. I'm a single father, so I was eligible for it. I was over on the cut side of my crib at the time, washing my car, cleaning the rims, and I had the music on a little bit. I had a system in there. This guy across the street kind of came and was like, hey, I was wondering, can you turn the music down? And he sounded like, yes, he's in the military, but sounded like he's from Hawaii. Like military, but a local dude. So he says, can you turn it down? So I looked at him, and because, see, on a military installation or whatever, you can't have your music up blasting past 10. This was in the afternoon. The sun was out. Well, it was kind of more so evening, but the sun was out. He didn't say, yo, my kid is asleep. And it wasn't even up that damn loud. I'm not the bumpity bump type of dude. I don't even think it's smart to come to your crib, pull up, and you got your system blasting because people know who to rob. So I know for a fact that it wasn't up that loud. But when I said to him, it's not 10 o'clock. Like, talking about? Basically, like, get the fuck out of here. That's just the type of time I was on. I wasn't as friendly in thinking first like I should have been. I did not do my best. So he just kind of looks at, oh, all right. Okay. And he walked off. All right. Okay. I think, and since I said he's a local dude, I'm sure he got some folk who live all the way out in Y&I, which is, you go all the way west. You know what I'm saying? Some of them who ain't too crazy about the military being there. Not that they needed that. All they needed to do was just get word from dude. That's what I think. I think dudes, because it got stolen right in front of my crib and not too long after that. But that's beside the point. Anyway, where was I? That was a rabbit hole. So I pull out a Gussie's. My bad, y'all. I pull out a Gussie's, cut that corner, then cut another corner. I look back in my rear view mirror, and there is Honolulu police. Yep, the lights are on. They said I failed to stop or some shit like that. That was a lie. So, but anyway, so they come up to the car, asked me had I been drinking. I lied and said I had like one, and I was just inside of there. All I had was just one, which is true. I had a beer in there. But check it. Remember I went to the cellar? The wristband was still on my wrist from another club. So him, the cop was cool. Like, oh, so you didn't get that wristband from here. Kind of like, nigga, stop lying. So, of course, I'm going to have to ask you to step out the car. So I get out of the car. They have me do the field sobriety test. And long story short, I didn't pass it. But I had just blew over the limit. Like, the limit is like 0.2 or something. And I just blew over that. Maybe 0.3. Or I just blew over the limit. No excuses, though. Over the limit is over the limit. They take me to jail. Or the holding thing, jail, whatever. I know there's a difference with prison and this, that, and the third. I don't care. So they take me to jail, right? Or to the holding facility, whatever. I call it jail, right? And so I called Shorty and told her that, yo, I got pulled over. I got arrested. I got a DUI. And she came to bail me out. She came to bail me out that night. And when she picked me up, it was her and one of her friends, the chubby one. And, they picked me up. We went back to the crib. And we all slept in the same bed. We didn't do nothing. I ended up leaving the bed anyway. It was just her and her friend. And all the other details don't really matter. Point is, I was already dead ass wrong and not doing my best before I even left the crib. And listen, I was sipping Jerk. This ain't beer. This is liquor. And newsflash, people who get caught or pulled over and get caught being under the influence, trust me when I tell you that it's not their first time getting behind the wheel, being under the influence. Trust me when I tell you, it was not my first time. It was not. So, yeah. So what I was saying, yeah, that was not me doing my best. What if I hurt somebody? You know what I mean? What if I hurt myself? What if I hit somebody, had an accident? You know? Who would have picked up my kids from the babysitter? You understand? Who would have done that? And because my license was taken, that means I had to now drive around with no license. I fucked around and got pulled over again, driving without a license. So that decision that I made, that was not me doing my best because it affected everything. It affected me taking my kids to school. It affected me getting to work. It affected me hitting the gym. It affected everything. That was not me doing my best. Now, again, I don't think that not doing your best at times, I don't think that it should define you as a man, as a woman, as a father, as a mother, as a person. I don't think it, unless, of course, it's just your thing to just keep making shitty decisions. Then, hey, maybe it does define you. My thing is, like I was saying before, I just think it's ass, you know, to say to anybody, your kids, or hey, maybe your parents, you know, depending on how you wowed out. I was a rebellious teenager. I was very rebellious. And for a while, I stayed just apologizing to my moms for my past behavior. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you have to say that even to them. Look, I did not do my best. I don't see any other way to hold yourself accountable so that, you know, I don't see how do you grow? How do you take off and become better if you can't even admit where you went wrong? You know what I'm saying? Even if you thought you were making a good decision, you should still be able to identify where I'm of the belief you should be able to identify where you went wrong. Otherwise, that situation was a failure because you didn't learn the lesson. Yeah, I know I'm preachy, but listen, man, we can make excuses or we can hold each other accountable. And I think us as a community, us as black folk, us as a people, whatever you identify as, black nationalist, Pan-Africanist, whatever, if you're not careful, we'll fuck around and be making excuses for each other. You know? So yeah, stop lying to folk, man. Stop fucking lying. You know you're not doing your best. You know what I mean? Be honest with yourself. Be honest with your loved ones. You wasn't doing your best. You know? Yeah. That's all I gotta say about that. Word, I want to thank y'all for tuning in to Hoodies once again. New season. You know what I'm saying? It feels good. It feels good. I'm not 100% all the way with it, but I'm trying something new. New chapter. Yeah, man. So I hope everybody out there is doing well. Sending y'all some good energy. Y'all send me some. Shout out to everybody who may be going through a thing, but yet you still show up. Boom. I salute you. Shout out to you if you got a born day today. You know what I'm saying? New life, more life. And yeah, man. Y'all stay up. Thank you for watching. I'm the God Rashidi. I see y'all in 2 weeks. This is Hoodies, man. Hey. This is Hoodies.